Ladies and gentlemen, today is Season 4 Reloaded for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, and with it we got all of our patch notes for both Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. This goes over everything new, but also everything that is changing. So this includes weapon changes, game mode changes, kill streaks, and everything in between. So what we're going to be doing in this video is going over all of that kind of new stuff in everything from multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. And I think today we're actually going to start out with Warzone. So diving into the Warzone patch notes here, this is of course the roadmap, nothing special there. We've seen that one before, but starting out with the new event, we have the Altered Strain event. Essentially a DNA bomb has gone off at Pop-Up Tower. There's some toxic green sludge that is there now, and there might be some mysteries. They don't really go too far into that, but I'm curious what has changed there. That's what we're seeing here, the Pop-Up Tower meltdown. You can see the green sludge kind of everywhere. We have our new limited time mode. So this one came out today. We'll actually see it down here. It's only in quads as of right now, which I don't love, but it's there. And basically through this one, you're going to collect altered strain material throughout a game. I think you mainly get it from kills, but I think you can also get it through loot chests as well. And this will give you things like Bio Shield, Dive Bomb, which allows you to rocket through the air, Mutant Leap, allowing you to jump high into the air, Toxic Stim Cloud, which you can use as a stim cloud for your team, and a Toxic Cloud for the enemies, the Sludge Sling, which allows you to toss sludge grenades, the Mutant Cloak, which turns you invisible for a short time, and then Mutant Vision allows you to see enemies through the map. The point of interest is pop-up power, and the size is quad. So I think this is like a small mini royale, but just at the new POI. As I mentioned, our playlist are mutation resurgence quads. Then we have ranked play trios, plunder quads on Urzikstan, solo duos, trios, and quads on Urzikstan. Unfortunately, no buyback solos. And then resurgence, solos, trios on map rotation, and then quads on Rebirth Island. As far as new features, the specialist perk is now in Urzikstan and can be acquired via the bunkers, and redacted weapons can be found there as well. Those ones are going to have upwards of 5 attachments. As far as weapons go, we have our new shotgun, which is the Reclaimer 18. It can be used in semi-automatic or as a pump action shotgun, which is going to give you an additional range on that. New melee weapon is the Sledgehammer. These are weekly challenges, whereas the Reclaimer 18 is via a battle pass sector. So in other words, challenges. Then we get into our weapon adjustments, starting out with the BAL 27. This one has a lower torso modifier increase up to 1.1%, so a slight buff there. The MCW mid damage increased up to 24 and increased bullet velocity as well, so that's a buff to that one. That gun should be pretty freaking good as of now. The Holger 556 near mid damage range increased up to 60.96 meters, nice, and increased bullet velocity up to 720, so a buff for that one as well. MTZ 556 increased bullet velocity, and the M16 Jack Patriot mid damage range increase, so a buff to that as well. The MTZ 762 max damage range increased and near mid damage range increase, so a buff to that. SMGs, we have the FJX Horus, first of all the Jack Scimitar kit, max damage range increase, near mid damage range increase, and mid damage range increased. So all of those ranges are increased. So in other words, a buff to that. The Striker lower torso damage multiplier increased to 1.1. So a small buff to that one. The Rival 9 max damage range increased to 12.7 meters. Not a big buff there. And near mid damage range increased to 25.4. Again, not a big buff there either. LMGs, the mid damage on the RAL is slightly increased, so a small buff. The Sakin MG, the mid damage increased to 25, again, small buff. The RAP H leg modifier increased to 1, and the HCR 56 near mid damage range increased by a little bit. All very small buffs to the LMGs there. Then we have our marksman rifles. The Jack Warden conversion kit increased sprint to fire speed by a little bit, which is actually a nerf. Then we have the Car 98. This is the one everyone was worried about. Modified controller aim assist properties. So in other words, the aim assist won't be as strong as it previous was. Not a huge deal, but it's definitely noticeable on controller. Max damage range decreased to 55.88. Not a huge deal there, but that's going to reduce that one-shot kill to 55.88 meters, and decreased bullet velocity to 620 meters per second. Honestly, not a huge nerf. I think this should honestly be more balanced, and I think the Car 98 will still be pretty good after this. I am curious to see how big that aim assist nerf is though. After this, C4's decreased max damage to 200, outer damage to 100, and radius to 6.5 meters. The The mosquito drone damage is no longer dealt to the kill streak owner in a nearby explosion, so a slight buff to that one as well. Then we have some bug fixes. So that's essentially it for Warzone. Nothing too crazy, nothing too meta changing. The one I'm interested in is the MCW. That one was already good and it got a buff. Moving over to Modern Warfare 3. Now this one, the patch notes are a little bit longer for this one. So the new things we have are Incline 6v6. This is a new map. Das Gross 6v6 and Bit Vela. So that one is the Bit Party event. And then we have the Get Higher. This is the one where you have to climb to the top of the course. I think this is cool. Glad to see something new like that return. Again, the Reclaimer and the Sledgehammer are coming. Our new aftermarket parts, we have the Jack Volk. This is for the KV Inhibitor and the KVD Enforcer. We also have the Jack Gunslinger. This one is for the Basilisk. And as of right now, that appears to be it, which is kind of interesting because nothing's there for week 8. Our new modes, we have Mutation. So this one team is humans, the other team is mutants. Mutants have powers, humans have weapons. Kind of like Infection, but a little bit different. Then we have Bit Party. This is the one on Bit Vela that I was talking about. Then we have Havoc. This is the one I'm looking forward to mostly. By the way, I'm going to be streaming this at noon Eastern Standard Time when it comes out. If you want to check out my stream, it'll be linked down below. But we're definitely going to be playing that mode. That one is the one where you get wacky modifiers at different score limits. Then we have Headshots Only and Blueprint Gunfights. Nothing too crazy. Our new events, we have the Altered Strain starting out today. We also have Retro Warfare starting out today as well. Then we have our Vacation Squad starting on the 3rd of July. And then the Vortex Death's Grip starting on the 10th of July going to the 24th. Then we have some new Grand Mastery calling cards, emblems, and weapon charms. Nothing too crazy there. Some UIX fixes, nothing crazy. Progression, that's just addressing bugs, fix some things on maps. And then we get into weapons and attachments. Keep in mind, these are different than Warzone. Starting out with the FJX Horus, decreased maximum damage range, decreased near medium damage range, basically decreased all the damage ranges. So this one has so overall FJX got a nerf. Then we have the KV Broadside. This is the Jawbreaker conversion kit, fixed an issue with it, nothing crazy. Then we have the Car 98. In multiplayer, removed hipfire aim assist properties for controller devices. I didn't even know that was there. And decreased the strength of ADS. So they didn't change any of the stats in multiplayer. They just changed the way that aim assist works. So it's now in line with the other weapons. The Lockwood MK2, the Jack Warden's kit, increased sprint to fire speed. So the nerf there, decreased maximum damage range and decreased near medium damage range. So a nerf all around to the Lockwood MK2. The Carrack Sniper Rifle, a bunch of buffs and a couple nerfs, increased maximum damage by quite a substantial amount, increased near medium damage, and increased medium damage. So damage buffs all around. However, they decreased the ranges pretty much all around, and then increased the head and neck multipliers as well as the torso multipliers. This should essentially feel like a brand new gun. This basically changes all of the damage properties with it and should feel completely new. The Core 45, the conversion kit, got a fix. Field upgrades, the ACS hacked equipment will no longer prompt the player to pick it up. That was just a weird bug. Kill streaks, mosquito drone, damage no longer dealt to the kill streak owner. The mortar strike removed the 2-second delay before the mortar begins once the target is marked. That's a crazy buff. However, they decreased the mortar travel time, decreased the delay between mortar strikes, increased the number of mortars per wave to 6, which is insane, and decreased the time between waves. All in all, big buff to the mortar strike. Missile drone improved the flight pass, nothing crazy there. Swarm, damage is no longer dealt to the kill streak owner, and DNA bombs, players within vehicles no longer immune to death. So nothing too crazy there. However, mortar strike, way better. And it lasts less long, so it should be better and not as annoying. It should work that way. Ranked play, we have the unrestricted MTZ 556 and the unrestricted Holger 556. You can now use those weapons. Our new zombies content, we have the unstable rifts. So I'm not 100% sure how these work yet. Essentially, they are saying that this is not round-based, but it is wave-based combat challenge. This is something I'm going to be testing out on stream today, so be sure to check that one out. Basically, you have to find one of these unstable rifts, and only a certain amount of people can use them per game. It's very odd, and when you get into a rift, it should give you a top-tier weapon right away. Again, not exactly sure how that works at this point. So honestly, nothing too crazy. I think the biggest things that we're going to be getting is the mutant playlist within Warzone, the mutant playlist in multiplayer, and on top of that, the Havoc mode in multiplayer. Those are going to be the things that I'm kind of most focused on over the next couple days. We're definitely going to try out those unstable rifts. By the way, I don't believe that there's actually a campaign mission for zombies for those unstable rifts. So I don't think there's going to be anything new reward-wise or completionist-wise in regards to that. However, we're going to have to wait to see how those rifts work. And if you want to check me out playing that new update, it'll be live at noon Eastern Standard Time. Link down below over on Twitch. But that's the whole update. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, notifications, all of that kind of jazz. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're made